Yes.
3, 2, 1. This is Nick,
And this is Amanda.
and this is the Performance Plate Podcast, where we give you bite-sized bits of information based on nutrition and exercise science to improve your overall performance. And on this week's episode, we have part 2 of living a positive life, and we're going to go into ways to improve that. Because last week, if you missed the episode, go back, watch that one. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we talked about how we tend to gravitate towards negative mindsets. And we're going to have Amanda lead off this one with positivity and how to improve a positive life and not really dive down that negative rabbit hole of all
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. So last episode, we had talked about how one negative thought that happens can spiral into the next. And then that ultimately determines our actions because thoughts turn into actions, actions turn into habits, and then we're ultimately creating our life. And I think that when a lot of people talk about like, oh, I manifested this or I manifested that, it's like it has something to do with positivity and being able to stop the negative thoughts and reroute them to something that is either neutral or more positive.
Yeah.
And but the number one thing, the big secret is
Mm.
daily gratitude in
Yes.
everything that you do.
Hmm.
Finding it as often as you can. And I talk about this a lot with clients in terms of body image.
Hmm.
Um, we're usually so caught up in our negative thoughts about our body. Like I was someone that couldn't even imagine having a positive thought about my body. It felt
Yes.
so unrealistic to me
Hmm.
that I didn't ever think that I would ever get there.
Yeah.
Something that helped me a ton was finding gratitude and also going from negative to neutral versus trying to jump from negative to positive. So,
Nice. Like that.
gratitude for the fact that I'm able to walk and breathe and work out,
Yeah.
slowly like implementing those thoughts. So, okay, first step is being mindful of the negative ones that I'm having. Okay, I'm looking in the mirror right now. I'm judging everything about myself. Can I step away from the mirror and can I be grateful that I just worked out?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm taking the thoughts that I'm having about myself and I'm turning them into neutral. Oh God, I'm the worst looking person in the world.
Hmm.
Hey, I'm not so bad. Sounds funny, right?
Yeah.
It
But
does, but it shifts
yeah,
your energy.
better than your
And
average bear, you know?
yeah, you do that over and over again. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the positive doesn't seem so far away,
Yes.
especially with the gratitude. Like,
Hmm.
waking up in the morning, I'm grateful that I slept the night before. There are some things that I will never take for granted again. Going
Hmm.
to the bathroom regularly and
Yes.
sleeping. I will
Yeah.
always be and working out because I had
Yeah.
to stop working out for a little bit too.
Hmm.
I will always be thankful for those things from now on. I think you realize like the gravity of them when they're taken away from you. I know those are like not silly examples, but like simple
No.
examples because
Yeah.
but my point is uh finding gratitude in everything that we do.
Yes.
Like, even if the only thing you can think of is I woke up today, that's a pretty big reason to be thankful.
Of course, it is.
Yeah.
And so just to go back to what you were saying with they may seem silly. They're not silly to you. And that's what I
Hmm.
always remind my patients. What you figure as silly or small or whatever it is may not they're they're significant to you. So what you think other people may feel as small, like something as simple as, oh, I just woke up this morning. Hey, listen, man, you still woke up this morning, that
Hmm.
small little thing of having daily gratitude of that. And then I loved how you said, I never heard it that way of negative thought to neutral thought. So I
Hmm.
actually was talking to a friend recently about affirmations and gratitude and all this. Actually, this conversation, I just remembered it now when we were talking about it because you said the neutral to negative. And what I said, because it's so easy to get caught up in we are so bound down in we do X, we get Y result. Well, with things like shaping a positive life, you don't get X and Y. There's so much other stuff. You do this, you don't get an outcome that equals this. That just doesn't work that way, But what we
Wait,
were
what do you
saying,
mean by that? Like, if,
so I'm going to get to that. So,
okay.
because she was saying how affirmations really didn't work for her. Okay.
Yeah.
They really weren't working, whatever it is. And it's like, there's no working in that aspect. It's the negative thoughts. So let's say your affirmation or your daily gratitude, or we'll use your example the best. As you saying, like, I'm the ugly person alive. I'm not that bad. Okay. The fact that you're saying that, as you do that more, that intrusive thought of negative, I'm the ugliest person around, dissipates, comes in less, and is less frequent. So then you start at a point of neutrality, what you were saying, which that's why I was saying I really love that because I never actually thought of it that way. You start at a
Hmm.
point of, I'm not that bad.
Hmm.
Not that bad, you know? Then
Hmm.
the intrusive thought of I'm really bad, really ugly, turns to more, happens less. So you get less of that. Then you get more of I'm not that bad. Then you're building off the I'm not that bad.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm looking pretty good.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what
Yes.
I meant. Like, you don't get from X where you tell yourself you're beautiful and then you get Y result, I'm beautiful. It just doesn't work that way. It,
Yes.
your brain doesn't work that
Yes. It has to be believable. It has to be realistic. Like
way. Yes.
I
Well,
think
you
we
have
all
to
are very
believe it.
realistic beings. Exactly. You have to believe it on an internal level. Like you can't
Yes.
just put it in the mirror and, speak it into existence. That's not
Yeah.
how it works.
Yes.
And like that's why like any of this, all of this stuff takes consistent action.
Hmm.
Like every negative thought is an opportunity to turn it into something positive or at
Yes.
least neutral.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a huge
And you
factor.
have to take advantage of those opportunities. And
Yes.
that's where it becomes really interesting because is the negative really negative then? Or is it just a way for us to grow and create a more beautiful life?
Yeah. Exactly. That's really what it is. It's a way to reshape your mind. And
Then we're less fearful of the negative too, then, because when like there were times where I was like, I'm just gonna avoid mirrors at all costs. Like, don't
yeah.
like, and again, coming back to this example because we're using it, this can be
Yeah.
applied in different ways. Actually, I was not planning to use this example, but anyway.
You did it. It's on you.
We become scared of the ways, okay, we become scared of the ways that we talk to ourselves. So we
Yeah.
don't want to be alone with ourselves or our thoughts, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
then when we realize that, like, oh, hey, we're not alone in this, everyone experiences these negative thoughts, maybe to varying degrees about different things. Not everyone has body dysmorphia or struggles with, over exercising, but like we're all similar in the sense that we struggle with negative thoughts.
Mhm.
Sitting with those is actually an opportunity. It doesn't have to be this big, scary thing.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
can pause, I can become more mindful of them, I can notice them without judgment. And I think
Mhm.
that's really an important component too, not judging your thoughts.
Yeah. Yes.
Just, always say, treat them like a science experiment.
Mhm.
Remove the bias,
Yeah.
just ask questions around it. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Amanda, what are you thinking right now? How are we feeling?
Yeah.
What's going on? What do
Yeah.
you need? And then
Yeah.
that in itself usually solves a lot.
Yes. And that's where some people use it. Some people can internally do it. If you can't, and I can't internally do it, I have to journal it.
Exactly. And that's why I
Why did
love writing things down.
yes.
Yes.
Why did I feel it?
Working.
And then it makes it takes it out of your brain and makes it like when you write something, let's say you write a negative thought about yourself, like, oh, yesterday sucked. We'll go back to last week. I hit yesterday sucked. I didn't hit four. I didn't hit 405, but I hit 375 for two, which I wanted to, which was the goal. And then you read it back to yourself. You're like, now I sound silly.
Yes. You need that third person view on it.
Yes, because once
Yeah.
you write it, it's permanent. Once it's permanent, you read it again. You're like, oh, wait, that sounds weird.
Yes, because in your head, like it feel like
Yeah, it
yeah.
builds up. It feels like this
Uh-huh.
momentous thing, this big thing.
Yes.
We can go back to body image and stuff as well. Like we can look at it. You write down like, I feel really ugly today.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, like, do I though? I was like, if you have like, you know what I'm saying? If you have a significant other, it's like, well, this person finds me attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's different
Yeah.
things where you're like, wait a second, is it though? Like when
Yeah.
you write things down.
And when your inside becomes more beautiful, your outside becomes
True.
10 times more beautiful.
And you start glowing and radiating and all that fun stuff
Yes.
because you're just
Like your energy
confident.
speaks volumes
Yes.
above
People pick up
physical
that.
appearance. Yes.
They pick up on your positivity of yourself, we'll say,
Yep. Your
without you
energy.
noticing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where like
And that's
having
another
yes, that's a good one.
the fact that don't make it so much about yourself. Like when,
Yeah.
like if you're someone that's really, and like we're kind of going down like the body image rabbit hole, but if you're someone, and I know you've dealt with this in the past
Mhm.
too with your own body image stuff,
Yeah.
um, if you're someone that tends to struggle a lot with that, a lot your interactions can feel very exhausting because you're always thinking about how do I look? What am I
Yeah.
saying? How are they perceiving me? Like it's so
Hmm.
draining.
Yeah.
Start to make the interaction about the other person. What
Yes.
can I learn about them?
Hmm.
What how do I want them to feel?
Yeah.
Like when I was going through a lot of the healing with my body, I realized that like I just wanted other people to feel safe. I wanted other people to feel good about themselves. So like
Hmm.
that was what I started to focus on was like how can I make this person feel heard? How can I make this person feel safe to be themselves? How can I learn something about this person? It
Hmm.
takes us out of our own shit and puts us into this really great space where now we're not only being more like positive, not we're being more neutral in ourselves, right?
Yes.
Neutral in
Yeah.
ourselves, but then we're creating a positive space for someone else, which then
Hmm.
comes back to us because again, we're all energetic beings.
Yes.
That's going to spread instead of the negativity spreading.
Yeah.
People might not know that you're having all of these thoughts about, these negative thoughts about yourself. A
Hmm.
lot of times they don't, but they still feel that energy and that energy of this, like, I can't be fully comfortable in this situation. They can feel that whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
And I think that when you are someone that has gone through something like this, you start to pick up on that more and you
Mhm.
can tell when someone truly isn't comfortable,
Yeah.
and you're able to actually put words to it. But
Yes.
a lot of us might just feel that without actually knowing what's
Yeah.
going on. And that's why it's like that can be a really cool thing of like shifting it away from it being about you to it being about that other person. I think
Yeah.
that's a really awesome way to change the negative energy. And then also, it can be an opportunity for gratitude. What am I thankful for in
Yeah.
this person?
Yes.
And even with relationships, we were talking about in the last episode how relationships can like they're so important to us. They're the
Mhm.
number one thing for our health is positive relationships in our
Yeah.
life. Well, guess what? People aren't angels, and you could be searching around this entire world. You're never going to find someone
Yeah.
that like is everything and more for you and makes you feel good all the time.
Yeah.
We're all messed up. Like we all have our stuff and we
Yeah.
all have negative thoughts and things that we're all
Mhm.
working on. The only thing we can do is focus on the positives.
Yes.
And that's where you just ask, okay, what am I grateful for in this relationship, in this person? Because not everyone is going to be everything for you. And they might
Yeah.
have certain qualities that you absolutely love and
Yeah.
other ones that you don't like. And you have
Yeah.
a choice which one you want to focus on.
Yeah. That and it's literally like I'm grateful for X, Y because of this person. But yeah, there's other things you're not gonna love everything about them. And I think that's what people forget is in any relationship, whether it's significant other, whether it's work related, whether it's business related, whatever it may be, there's things they may not like about you, and that's or you may not like about them, and that's okay. But you can focus on, "Ugh, I hate this, or whatever it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like this person talks too much. It's like, okay, well, look at all the positive things. You're grateful for the fact that
Yeah.
they may talk too much, but they're an awesome business partner, and they're talking too much gets you all the into all the doors you need to be.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so like, can you
exactly.
tolerate the talking too much? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Trying to tell me something?
no, not at all. But like, it's one of those ones where you're like, gratitude. You have to remember, like, and I personally, I just this is my own thing. No one has to do this, but like every time I journal, I end every journal, whether my journal statement for the day is 3 lines, 1 line, there's always 3 comments of I am grateful for.
I love
And
that.
whatever I'm in that mood for, grateful for. Sometimes it's literally I'm grateful that I can follow my dreams. I'm grateful that I have people that trust me to heal their body. I'm grateful for like Amanda being there to start the podcast with. You know what I mean? Things like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yes.
that's how I do my daily gratitude because those little
Yes.
things remind me of okay, as crappy as January was for both of us, we had crazy Januaries.
Yeah.
I would write I'm grateful for.
I'm
It was
actually grateful for it because there was so much growth.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot in January about myself.
Yeah.
Um so but like, it's like I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. It's like, okay, when you're in the thick of it, if you can pull out little things that you remember like I'm grateful I have family. I'm grateful I have a job that allows me to afford the gym I love to go to. You know, those little things, like, yes, even if you hate your job still pays you. and you can go to the place that allows you to go to vacations that you like, that allows you to go to the gym you enjoy where your community is, that allows you to hire the nutritionist you wanted to hire that really makes you feel strong and powerful. There's ways of framing it. So once again, goes back to us, the negative thought is, I hate my job.
Yeah.
But
Well,
there's
you
a
have a job.
positive. Yeah, you have a job. You have something that affords you the ability to do the things that you actually enjoy. Now, don't get
Yes.
me wrong, all of us would like to make money and not do anything. That would be amazing, but that's not the case.
Yeah. Well, wait, this is what that's such a good like segue to what we talked about in the last episode where we always think we're going to find happiness in the next thing.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
literally, all of us at the end of the day, we all just want peace
Hmm.
and we all just want to feel good.
Yeah.
You can do it right now.
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
create it literally in this moment.
And the I think what holds people back is realizing that your peace and your happiness and your sanity, we'll say, is on you and not other people or other things.
Hmm.
A new car is not going to get you the peace, happiness, and sanity, but we can use a new car as an example of that. Buying a new car may give you some happiness, but if you reframe it of that happiness, you worked hard for it. That's actually what it
What
is.
made you happy? Yes.
Exactly. The
It was the
hard work that
process
you
of
put
getting
in.
there.
Yes.
Yes. I was hoping
So
you were going to say that. Yeah.
exactly. That's same wavelengths, man. That's
Yes.
why we're doing this. Because it's true. It's the end goal, and that goes back to what I said earlier about X and Y. The X goal of getting a new car is not the happiness is not the Y of
Mhm.
I got the new car. It's everything in between that. And I remember this actually is funny because we as high school kids, you're stubborn, you're brats, whatever it is. So we had a professor who sparked my interest in biology and got me into all of this stuff. So I'm very grateful for him. But during AP Bio, he would always say the same thing to us. It's not the it's not the destination, it's about the journey. And at 17, 18 years old, a bunch of kids that are juniors and seniors in high school, we're like, shut up. We just want to take the AP test, get our credits, and leave us alone. So we made shirts up saying it's about the destination. Who cares about the journey? Because you know, because we're just like that. Because that's what you do at 17, 18 years
That's
old.
exactly what you do. Yeah.
Exactly. Just go against all people that say things.
You should wear that in one of these podcasts.
Oh my gosh. I wish I still had it. I think I threw it out so long. I was like, I'm never gonna wear this. This makes no sense. Um, but that's really what it is. It's not, for example, if you compete in sports or anything like that, you get one shot sometimes in sports. Olympics is the best example of that. Every
Mhm.
4 years, Olympians go out, and maybe that's their only chance to perform. If you only gravitate on the fact that you want a gold medal and you don't get that gold medal, you're set up for such upsetness, we'll say, and that's not even a word, but
Disappointment.
negativity.
Yeah.
Yes, disappointment. Thank you. However, the journey of getting there, you met so many amazing people. You worked hard. The blood, sweat, and literally tears that goes into being a professional athlete or any type of person that works hard for something, whether you're a professional athlete or not, whether you're just a recreational warrior that wants to run marathons and whatever. The hard work in there, if you're reframe your mindset about the gratitude for like my body was able to work this hard for 12 weeks to step on stage, to go on the platform, to run that marathon. You know what I mean? I'm grateful every morning that I can try to lift weights that I obviously cannot do. I'm never gonna let go.
More than I could do.
So fair. But you also hit a PR squat this week.
Yes.
So that's huge. So you know what I mean? But like we could have went down that rabbit hole of, well, I hit the squat, but I wanted more. And it's like, no, I'm
Yes.
grateful my body was able to allow me to, I think it was 6 reps you did, right? Or five.
I got three.
Right. I forget what it was because the one before
Yeah.
that was six.
Oh, it was six. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. And then I was like, you know what? I could go a little heavier here. And I
Yeah,
did. And that was where I
exactly.
got three. Yeah.
But it's like I'm grateful for the fact that I finally am at the point where I can lift again.
Hmm.
Like you said, you're never going to take advantage of lifting, sleeping, and having
Never gonna
regular
take for
health.
granted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah. It sounds silly, but it's true. Like I'm so thankful.
Yes.
And I
And
think
that's where gratitude
sometimes,
comes into play. And I
yeah.
think it's hard to forget. Like, it's very easy for us to realize trust me, when you go through the thick of it, it's very hard to realize like there's nothing. Like best example I can give is when I was in graduate school. Dude, there were nights and days where I was like, I want to put my head through a wall. I just couldn't. I was in a whirlwind of negativity. But then I'm like looking back on it, and I was like, dude, we go through photos of us like there's
You're like, wow,
photos
that
of
was the time of my life.
no,
Yeah.
literally, there's photos of like me and my buddies like doing random ass crap, sleeping in random ass positions, like someone's napping. Like I
Funny as
actually
hell. Yeah.
genuinely miss that stuff
Yeah.
sometimes because it's like we were miserable sometimes, but like in the
We
moment,
were
nobody
miserable and
gave a
happy
crap.
together. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where like I wish at that time I knew more about I would have journaled then about how grateful I am for my grad school friends. They're lifelong friends at this point, but like we wouldn't have done it, the negativity of it, gotten through it without each other,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know?
And it comes back to the relationships. It's the relationships that matter most.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
how can you find so what our goal for this episode was to like really have you try and figure out how you can find some type of gratitude in your life.
Hmm.
And it doesn't have to be these, you can small little things, start
Yeah.
small, write it down, write it in your,
I,
you know, you don't need
when
a,
I,
I mean, you have a phone, you can put it in your notes in your phone, you don't need, I have a journal because I just bought one because if I put it in my phone, I get distracted and go on like whatever else I'm
yeah. Yeah. I think journals are awesome because it just spirals into the next thing. Like,
doing.
you know, you'll probably find that when you first start, maybe it's only one or two things and it doesn't feel that good, but the more you do it,
Yeah.
the more you're like, oh wow, and I'm thankful for this and this and this and this. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like this overwhelming gratitude.
Hmm.
When I was really going through it with my um hormones and stuff like that, when everything was, I couldn't train, middle of
Yeah.
winter, I was like, how the hell am I going to get through this?
Yeah.
I started I put a little mason jar next to my bed and I would rip off a piece of paper and write one
Nice.
thing that I was grateful for from the day.
Yeah.
And one day I dumped them out back in November and I was looking at all of them. And one of them said, I ate some good ass eggs today.
Nice.
I was like,
Awesome.
that was all I could think of. Like I eat eggs every freaking day, but I guess
Yeah.
for that morning, maybe I put some seasoning on them or something, but I was thankful.
Wait, I'm just cracking up because I literally, I this is completely off topic, but it's hilarious that you said that because my cousin, no joke, the one when I lived in Maryland with my cousin, he made this banging ass spinach. I don't know how he did it, and I literally texted him the other day. I was like, dude, I think about the spinach you made on a regular basis and how good it was. And
Yeah.
what? And I was like, yeah, man, remember that spinach you made? And he's
Like,
like,
how did you do that?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
I did
I
that with
don't
my
know.
mom's chicken noodle soup the other night. I kept asking her, I was like, what did you put in here?
Yes.
And she was like, I told you already. And I was like, but it's so good.
Yeah, exactly. I try to mimic exactly what he did, but I just can't do it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what'd you do with that spinach, man? So like, yes, that's amazing. Like you can do a little jar and put things like good ass eggs,
Yeah. It's cracking
any
up.
little thing. And then when you're having a down, I don't know if you did it then, but if you are having a down day, you can pull out like a real like just where shit's hitting the fan. You could take that jar out and dump them out and be like, oh, look at that. Like all these things I'm grateful for. And it shows that. If you also have trouble, that's one option. There's also like I have a blank journal. I don't know about your journal, but I have a blank journal. It's literally just lines and I write in it.
Oh, yeah,
However,
me too.
some people need
I even
prompts.
like it without the lines.
Oh
And
wow.
you can really get creative. Yeah.
So there's prompt I've had planners and I've had journals that had prompts. The prompts don't work for me personally because I don't like being prompt. I want to just dump everything that's in my brain. But some
I'm
people,
similar.
it's like,
Yeah.
hey, what are three things that's good to happen to you today? Because like if you sit there and you're like, okay, I have to come up with three good things that have happened to me today. It's like it's hard to do that sometimes.
Feels less organic and it feels more
Yes,
like checking something off a list. Like you want to
yes,
go in with the right intention.
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's part of it is like, so as we always preach to everybody, start small, one thing a day. Notice like, hey, I got 20 minutes of working out done today. I ate some good ass eggs. That spinach, man, amazing. Like whatever it may be for you to find, and you can do it in that moment. It doesn't have to be in the mornings like we're talking about. It can literally just be in that moment of,
You can do
damn,
it at any point in the day. You can do it
exactly.
while you're driving. You
Yeah.
can do it while you're working. You can do
Yep.
it while you're at the gym.
Yep.
You can do it while you're cooking.
Yeah.
Like you can do it while you're watching TV.
Yeah. whatever you want to do, just
Yeah.
think to yourself like, damn, I'm grateful that I can sit. And it doesn't have to start with I'm grateful. We just are saying that, but it's like, dude, I am chilling and watching. I love watching animal shows. I'm watching that lion eat that
Too.
antelope and loving every minute of it. And that's all right. I'm so happy that I have the ability to go home at night and do that.
Yeah.
I have the ability to do all this stuff. Like it doesn't have to sound like I'm grateful. It's just I get to do this.
Be organic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And make it as organic as possible. So to bring it full circle, wrap this up. The ways to truly improve and secrets to a positive life is to be grateful for every moment you have. It can be hard to find those moments, but when you do, you're more likely to be attracted toward those moments than the negative moments.
Mm-hmm.
So
You create them.
yes.
We said it before.
Mm-hmm.
All of us really just want peace and to feel good at the end of the day.
Yep.
And you can start doing that right now.
Yep. Just got to look at the positives. And then as you build up your, we'll say, positivity armor, you're more likely to focus on those than the 2 minutes of whatever
Yes.
you did that ruined your day or ruined your day. You are
Yeah.
so
And
likely
quotes.
to, yes, exactly. You are so likely to be focused on, I was in traffic this morning, but the rest of the day went great.
Yeah.
That's
For
where your
sure.
mindset's going to be. So, as always, another awesome episode. Thank you so much, Amanda. I can't wait to shoot our next one. If you enjoyed this, please rate us on Spotify. Please share and tell your friends. We want to keep helping as many people as we can just be the best version of themselves. So, thank you again. And until next time, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, Amanda.
We hope you have good eggs.
Yes.